On this soul train. You thought the darkness was your ally. You merely adopted it. I was born from it, so I don't run from it. Cause a winner don't quit on themselves.
I'm telling these tears going far away, far away. Oh, the last one burning to the freedom, freedom, freedom.
Peace and power, peace and light, and happy Friday, y'all. We have made it. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Freedom, a literary podcast. It is the official Conscious Kingdom podcast, which we publish every single Friday because it's Freedom Friday. And this podcast is all about everything that is the Black experience, the comings and goings, everything that has happened throughout the week, as well as with every episode, we dive into a Black business for the week, as well as in the end, we always get a good old book and flip some pages, and just to continue to big up Black literacy, we do some old-fashioned reading. So, again, thank you for tuning in. This is episode 15. Before we get started, of course, I always have to give all praises to the Most High, the God within me, as well as our ancestors that came before. If any elders are watching, I thank you so much for blessing me with the space to speak freely, because when we speak up in here on Freedom Fridays, we get free, y'all. So let's get right into it. This week was filled with nothing but love and light, of course, because it was Black Love Day, it was Galentine's Day, as well as Valentine's Day. So I want to first thank everyone who came out to the official Conscious Kingdom event that was Galentine's Day. It was a twerk, paint, and sip, and oh my gosh, y'all, it was so much fun. Like, the energy was amazing, the vibes were great, the queens there were so creative, and we had such a great talk. I want to thank all of my vendors, Naturally Phased, Sherry with Paparazzi, Sweet Illusions, as well as Damsel in Defense, who had everybody there getting their tasers and pepper sprays and getting themselves together. I loved it. It was such a great vibe. And a special thanks to the beautiful queen that runs Style Luxe Bar. She came through, put up an amazing, it was beautiful balloon garland and backdrop for the event. And she was a huge help with just like making the decor just pop and making it so much fun. Everyone was doing their little boomerangs and getting their selfies and everything in front of the backdrop. So thank you so much to the team over again at Style Luxe Bar. Make sure that you follow them on Instagram and check them out. That's at Style Luxe Bar. And so like we do each and every Friday, I want to take time to just shout out a really dope Black-owned business, especially with all the mess that's going on with Gucci and all of that. I thought it was only right that we highlight a Black-owned business that offers her own version of some dope headbands and turbans and things. So this week, the Black business of the week is my homegirl, Monica of Blue Sugar. And I'm actually wearing one of her turbans right now. Check it out, y'all. Blue Sugar. Blue Sugar is a Black-owned business offering hand-sewn, handcrafted, original turban headbands. They're offered in several different prints, including a lot that are African wax print. They can be found online at blue.sugar, as well as their Etsy shop at The Blue Sugar. And you can follow them on Facebook at The Blue Sugar. Shop them now for all of your headband needs. The name of Willie McCoy, his rapper name was Willie Bo. He was from Cali, and 6 police officers shot and killed him while he slept in his car at a Taco Bell parking lot. Yes, y'all, I'm not making this up. The rapper Willie Bo had been recording recently. He's in a group that's called FBG. And they have been touring, and they have a pretty good buzz around where he's from. So allegedly, he was leaving the studio that night, and the police were called to the parking lot of the Taco Bell shortly after about 10:30 because employees said that there was a driver slumped over in his car at the drive-thru. Police allege that 2 officers noticed a gun on his lap before calling for backup. So this is their statement. They said officers gave the driver several commands to put his hands up. The driver did not comply and instead he quickly moved his hands downward, for the firearm. Fearing for their safety, 6 officers fired their duty weapons at the driver. The link that within the research that I saw, it said that a semi-automatic handgun recovered at the scene had been reported stolen in Oregon. Now, this happened in California, but it was reported stolen in Oregon and was fully functional when officers found it. All of this is according to the police. But his family and group members all stated very publicly that he wasn't known to carry any firearms, and he definitely didn't need it to be going to just the Taco Bell. But police still don't know how he allegedly obtained this firearm from Oregon. Why this was so alarming to me is because they shot first. Like, they shot his car up a total of 20 to 30 bullets. And then they yelled, "Put your hands up." There is some audio, like a visual of this. It's kind of bad. Like, it's kind of blurry. Like, you can't really see it. But for me, y'all know I would never post those because I don't believe in trauma porn. It's not healthy or safe or mentally, it's just not mentally good to ingest that type of images. Like, and to see those sort of things when it's someone that looks like you or your brother or someone that shares the same skin color as you. It's not healthy. So I won't be sharing that, but you can look this story up. But even in the video, like I said, it was legit a shoot first and then, they're yelling stuff out. And this was in Vallejo, California. They've actually have a very notorious reputation for cases of police brutality. In fact, they have paid more money per officer in civil rights cases than any of their other nearby police departments, according to, a report from that area. And the car that Willie McCoy was in was a silver Mercedes. Now, from my perspective, I'm like, he's a young man, 20-year-old, kind of look like a young, flashy, kind of fly type of dude, driving around in a silver Mercedes. According to the reports, it's, brand new, nice little coupe. Okay. To me, like, did they know him? Could he have been targeted because he was so known? None of this makes sense to me. Oregon, like, they're claiming that they blocked him in because his car was in drive, but he was unresponsive and asleep. Like, how was his foot able to maintain the brake while he was knocked out, slumped over in the drive-thru of a Taco Bell? And they were close enough to see a gun in his lap, but didn't try to, like, wake him up from that moment when they saw this alleged gun. Like, they positioned themselves to fire, rained down on his car, like, blah, 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 and then said, "Put your hands up." Like, what if he was having a medical emergency? They said he slumped over. What if he was having, like, an aneurysm, or even not even that extreme, but just having, like, a seizure, or, like, really a moment where he passed out, dehydrated, exhaustion, like, whatever. Like, have you ever been, like, woken up out of your sleep, like, you're watching a movie or something, you drift off, and then you don't even notice that you, like, drifted off, and someone or something, like, suddenly, like, wakes you up? Like, when you wake up, there is completely lost, like, discombobulated, kind of don't even know, like, where you are, and there's no way that, I know me personally, I would be able to process being woken up, suddenly like that, and being screamed commands, like, do this, do this, do this. Like, I'm gonna be like, huh, what? Like, my hands are gonna flail, my body's gonna be, like, kind of jerky around because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And what is so, like, hurtful to me is that, like, chances are he died without even understanding what was happening to him or where he was. The last thing that he remembered was he was pulling up to a Taco Bell drive-thru, and then he just drifted. He woke up to see cops and then blah, 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 and then that's the end of his life. Like, that is brutal as fuck. And I'm sorry, it's no way that car was in drive. And he drifted off, and his foot didn't come off the brake, and his car rolled. Like, it just all seems very, very shady to me. I feel like the police department needed to say the car was in drive to make it seem more of, like, a dangerous situation. despite the fact that he was just a young black boy sleeping. Like, they have to make it seem like they were so threatened, and so afraid for their lives, which is just really unfortunate. And, I want to see more footage because, like I said, the footage that's out there, it's really blurry. Like, someone's recording it through a window that has rain on it. But I know I want to see their body cams, as well as I want to see the drive-through footage. There's always those little black cameras that's, at every drive-through. I want to see those. And honestly, he was leaving, allegedly leaving a studio session. So before the police department or anybody else starts to, do the smear campaign of he was a thug and all this stuff, I'll just say it. Maybe drugs were involved. He might have had some lean, something at the studio. Not uncommon in black culture. I get it. No judgment here. Or maybe he was just tired. They said he was on tour. He was in the studio like he was trying to build a name for himself. He could have just been tired. Either way, if it was lean or he was sleepy, he does not deserve to be murdered. No one should be woken up by gunshots. That's not okay. And what's crazy about it is, due to my work schedule, like, I'll work my full-time job sometimes, get off, grab my stuff, get on the road to drive 3 hours to my military post. There have been times where I've been so tired because I've had an event that night before for Conscious Kingdom or something, and then I gotta wake up, I go to work, I work a full 9 hours, I get off, I drive 3 hours. There have been times where I've pulled over into public places and took a quick nap because I'm like, I'm not gonna drive while I'm tired. And just the thought of that being me, and knowing that I could be woken up with cops with guns pointed at me, like, it's terrifying. And he was only 20 years old. Like, I will continue to follow this story and just see what it pans out to be, but definitely sending condolences and love and strength and just resilient power to push forward and really get justice on this for Willie McCoy and his family. My 20-year-old young brother, may he rest in peace. So I spoke last week about that ugly blackface sweater. Gucci tried it, but we talked about that last week. And most celebrities agreed to boycott. Like, everybody spoke out about it. T.I., whom I absolutely adore, he had a lot to say about it and was really going in. So much respect to Tip and, just everybody that's really holding it down about this boycott. Even 50 Cent was trying to burn his Gucci shirts. Don't agree with that, but he's taking a stance. I appreciate that he was willing to take a stance and speak out. But of course, then there's people like Floyd Mayweather.
Everybody, I like everybody. And my thing is this: I like to live life and do what I like to do. I'm not no follower. I do what the fuck I want to do.
Right.
Because everybody say wear this or don't wear this. I'm wearing what the fuck I want to wear. I'm about to go in the Gucci.
Were you disrespected at all by the whole blackface?
I'm about to go in the Gucci.
Nah, I saw you drop that light 40 on, at that tournament the other day. At that game.
Oh yeah, but you see, we've been in there shopping today.
Look at that. Oh man. Oh, yeah, you're not worried about the backlash at all. Look at all the Gucci bags.
Oh man, I'm living life, man. Right. I'm living life.
Because people like T.I., Soulja Boy, they're done with Gucci. They said.
All I gotta say is this: I don't follow. Right. I do what I want to do, when I want to, and how I want to. I love it like everybody.
Right.
You said they're gonna be upset with me?
Right, they are.
Oh, I love it.
So, of course, after that lovely little clip went viral, Black Twitter had a field day going in on Floyd. Everybody's always kind of joked on the fact that he's illiterate and he can't really read very well. And I won't be doing that because Black illiteracy ain't really that funny. It's very real. And unfortunately, it's a lot of young Black children like Floyd who struggle with literacy and comprehension and basically use their other elusive talents. So I won't go in on that. However, Floyd is a mess. He has obtained that level of wealth that has allowed him to believe in his mind that it supersedes his blackness, and that's a problem. But he has proven this to us time and time again. How many times have we seen him just being downright ridiculous with his money? but not matching that with then doing something to uplift the community. Like with all of the wealth and fame that he has obtained through all of his years of fighting, he has never really used it to uplift or empower the Black community. Outside of him, like hiring, I know he hired like his family to work for him or whatever. My brother used to force me to watch those little documentaries on ESPN. So I remember watching something about like Floyd's father and his cousins and all that, or like his security team. His dad's like his trainer and all that, which is dope. Like, yes, keep it in the family, you know, help your people come up. But I've also read a lot of reports that he absolutely makes it known that they work for him, sort of thing. So it's not even on some like, I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to show you how to take this money and do things with it and keep this generational wealth going. It's kind of really narcissistic and just like self-serving and ego-based. So, which I definitely get that from him. Just how flashy Floyd is. Like, I feel like he's very ego-driven. But he didn't take that money and, you know, let's say build a school like the amazing LeBron James, King James himself, or even like a children's boxing gym to help someone find their outlet in boxing like he did. The one thing that I saw when I did try to do my research, because I'm like, before I start talking mess, let me do my research. He does have a foundation for underprivileged youth in Vegas. But Floyd is from like Grand Rapids, Michigan. Why didn't you do that back at home? Where you from? I don't know. But his mentality is that of like elitism that is rooted in his wealth with no regard for others, not in his tax bracket. Like, he is willing to go along with whatever and whoever is status quo for him to maintain his status. And it's crazy because as much as we think that these celebrities know their power and their true worth, I feel like someone like Floyd thinks that it's not my job to change the world. You know, it's not up to me to make a difference, or like, it's like I'm one person. I can't single-handedly make this entire world better. And Tupac spoke to this the best.
And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? That ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody
have to keep in mind who's watching us. We're not saying you single-handedly have to take all of your wealth and give it back to the people that's not where you are. No, but you do have a responsibility to use your platform to do something to help in some way. That is how we move the culture forward. And what bothers me with Floyd is he only cares about the culture when it's something that he can profit off of. You only care about being a black man or all of that when you want these black faces and these black eyes to be watching your black ass as you box on TV. Like, you care about us then. You want to market to us then. You want to make sure that you have rock artists and all these different songs and, you know, all these celebrities around you then. But when it comes time for you to speak on our behalf when we need you, you don't. And like Pac was saying, like, you don't have to single-handedly do it, but as long as you talk about the injustices and what's going on, it's going to spark that change in someone. But unfortunately, with these celebrities that have that mentality like Floyd and this elitism rooted in their wealth, that's thinking that their green dollars out, you know, is more powerful than their black faces, like, it's a problem. And honestly, it's just like it's just like another very well-known black man who was also in the news this week. It is Mr. Pantsuit himself, Mr. How to Act Like a Lady and Think Like a Man when his relationships are in shambles. Yes, I said it. Mr. Pantsuits, Mr. Mustache, bald head, fake weave hair. I mean, king of comedy, whatever you want to call him. Steve Harvey.
I've done nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing, we got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This the money game.
But
we in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You cannot help them.
We're in the money game. But let me tell you what the game is before the money game. Like before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
But Mo,
and wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children crumble, my grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement.
As you can see in the clip, Steve was completely undermining everything that Monique was saying and pretty much clarifying that Monique wasn't lying when she said that they all told her she was right, like behind closed doors, but didn't defend her publicly. And that was her major problem. He made one good point, though, like he really did. And so if you watch the full clip, he says that her Netflix boycott didn't really have a direction. He was like, it was a blanket statement, and we didn't know if that meant you wanted everyone to cancel their subscriptions or don't buy any more subscriptions or, picket in front of their offices or what she really wanted us to do. So when he said that, I was like, okay, you're right about that. It was just a call for action with no direction. So, and on top of that, we never knew what the actual negotiations were for her offer. So we know they initially offered that $250,000 or something like that, but we don't really know what happened after that because all we know is they offered her that and then she called for the boycott. So he was right about that. And the thing about everything that he's saying is he's not exactly wrong. Like, playing the game can work, especially in like corporate America and all of that. I personally done it. I know a lot of successful black people who've done it as well. But there's a fine line when it comes to having to compromise your integrity. Like, it's an increasing number of black people who achieve their fame and wealth while still being their authentic black selves. And I hate that Steve's message was kind of going against that. Like, there's no one way to do it or, reach that level of success that you ultimately want to obtain. And that's what bothered me about this entire conversation. It was like he just knew that he was completely right. And he was on some kind of like moral high ground and like talking down to her and like talking at her instead of talking with her. And I really didn't like that. Like when he grabbed her hand to like shush her down, I was like, oh, wow, that is misogynistic and rude as fuck and disrespectful, but okay. And it really bothered me because he literally says in the beginning, we black, we can't act like that. But then further, if you continue listening to the clip, he says, this ain't a black thing, this ain't a white thing. It's a money thing. So right then and there, he tells you like where he stands. And that's exactly what Steve is doing in this entire clip. Like telling other black people what they can't do. And I don't play that. I can run down a list of examples of black excellence that did better than him without playing the respectability game of being the acceptable Negro. And it bothered me because his crowd was predominantly white. It just did not sit well with me. Like, they're all like cheering him on as they tell her, like, don't you be no, like he's telling her, like, don't you be no rowdy nigga now. Don't you be doing that. And they're all like, yes, Steve, yes, yes. Like, it just, I wasn't feeling it. Like, very similar to Floyd Mayweather, Steve Harvey has allowed his wealth to trump his blackness, which is why he felt it was okay to visit Trump a while back. I don't know if y'all remember that. Because that elitism and being wealthy made him feel like he was untouchable or something. Like, it's so ego-based. Like I said, like, his regular black life and his black-ass issues doesn't affect him because he got green in his wallet, and that's more powerful than the black on his skin. Like, no. We've been there, done that. We've believed that being wealthy wouldn't stop us from being shot or being discriminated against in the judicial system. Like, no, it still happens. It doesn't matter. Like, you're not exempt because you reach a certain tax bracket. That's not how it works. And thinking about all this stuff with Monique really made me think about it. Like, when Kevin Hart made his stance against the Oscars, everyone backed him up. Like, everybody was pretty supportive of it. So why does Monique receive backlash for not playing the game? Not playing the game. Kevin Hart didn't play the game. All of this just sounds like shut up and dribble. Like, kind of like they had told LeBron a while back. Like, just shut up and entertain us. Like, we don't want to hear how you feel. We don't want to hear your gripes. Like, just be black, be funny, be loud and all of that. And just play the game. Keep us comfortable. Keep us happy. Like, that entire mentality, I just don't get. Like, I really want to ask Steve Harvey, at what point do we stop playing the game? Like, one of my absolute favorite quotes is that quote from Tupac where he's like, so I'm just supposed to sit there and sing my way in? We are hungry. Please let us in.
Again, you have to be logical. If I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat, and they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over just like throwing food around, but they're telling me there's no food in here. You know what I'm saying? Every day, I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song is going to change to, we hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, give me all the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, and you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. We was asking with them, with civil rights movement. We was asking. Now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're going to do?
Yes, just like that. Like, we were asking with the civil rights movement. We were asking, black women actresses and black actors and actresses, period, were asking with people like Hattie McDaniel when she was playing that Mamie character. It's such a disrespectful, archetype of black women is just these kind of hefty motherly types that raise white children, but they're illiterate and ignorant and submissive and subservient. But our ancestors, they did that so they can open those doors for us, for a Monique, for a Steve Harvey. We were asking with our ancestors having to play those roles in blackface and demean themselves, but they were doing it with a cause. They were doing it to be able to break those barriers. I mean, this was a black man who invented tap dancing, William Henry Lane. But he started off doing blackface. Before they cared about any of his talent, they demeaned him and they made him serve in those roles. Because back then the roles, to even be a black person in the performing arts was unheard of. So if you're going to be in it, it's going to be something that's demeaning and just demonstrative to you and who you are and degrading to who you are as a person and as a man and as a woman. But this is what our ancestors did. So like Pac said, we were asking then. So now when you have Monique in a situation where it's like, well, no, I don't want to be I don't want to be Mamie. I don't want to play those type of roles. I'm not Hattie McDaniel. Hattie McDaniel did that, so I don't have to go through that. Now we're at a place where I want pay equality for being a black actress, for being an actress at the caliber that I am at because I've done that work. I don't see why anyone would disagree with that if they had black people in our issues at the helm of their priorities. And unfortunately, people like Steve Harvey and Floyd Mayweather just don't have that. And once again, they're telling her to play the game, but how long are we going to play that game? I give it up to Monique, though. She held her posture, sis was resilient. She gave that look like, okay, this is some mess, but you know what? You know what, baby? Because she loved to say that. But, like, she held her composure. But I really want us to really think about that as Black people. Like, how long are we going to play the game? How long are we going to shut up and dribble? How long are we going to continue to receive just what we know is unfair, but just accept it because it is what it is? Like, so at the end of all of this, like, Steve was very, like I said, disrespectful. It was super misogynistic. He was mansplaining to her the entire time and not really even letting her speak, speaking over her, and just not even trying to fully even see her perspective. That was messed up, but I commend Monique for just holding her posture. And out of all of that, Auntie has secured a residency in Vegas. So it's like, you can still keep your integrity and you can get the bag. You can do it. And regardless of whether you agree or disagree, her feelings and all of that is warranted. You don't have to like her approach, but she's at that point. She picking a lock. She coming through the door blasting.
One day, all them bags don't get in your way. So, pack light.
Yes, so this week in Pack Light, in honor of all of the love that is just flowing through the universe right now because of this week being Black Love Day, Galentine's Day, and then Valentine's Day, regardless of whatever you celebrate or whether you have someone in your life or not, I just want to speak on the power and importance of Black love. Regardless of who you love, it is power in a Black union. When we come together, we empower each other. We have an understanding that no one else can understand because that is our bond. We share similar experiences. Have you ever talked to a Black person, whatever their socioeconomic background was, wherever their parents come from? We have certain things that just are link us all through our upbringing, through our music choices, our food choices, and just what it's like to live life in this world with this beautiful melanated skin. There is power in such a joy and comfort that comes from the love of a Black man, you know, him supporting you, him maintaining that strong exterior, but then still letting you in and feeling that power of his emotions and the love that he has and the strength that's in that, and just the complete power and love that comes from Black women. You know, think of the power that a Black woman can bring to your life. She can really uplift you and completely change your complete perspective in a way that will not only get you to accomplish your goals and dreams, but just make you enjoy and appreciate life even more. I think that society has taught us that we are at war with one another, and there's so many things that try to divide us, from respectability politics to, you know, Black women who make more money don't know how to be this to their man, or, you know, Black men don't care for Black women, or they leave their babies at home. And all of that negativity is dead to me, and it's all propaganda, because I see constant images of Black love all day, every day. And the beauty of this week is that it was put on display for the world to see. There were so many engagements and beautiful public displays of affection and love, and not just in the material purchases of the candy and the teddy bears and all of that, but just that proud display of, this is the person that is in my life and this is the person that I care about. And to see two Black faces do that, it's revolutionary, because the world knows there's power in that. When we come together and we build a union, we are at a space where we're renting more properties, we're more educated, we are procreating and reproducing and creating more generations of young Black children, and we're teaching them the morals and the standards that we have, and then we're raising them to grow into all of these beautiful things that are going to impact the earth and just continue to push forward the culture. There's so much strength in it. Black love is Black power, and Black love is revolutionary because we live in a world that tells us that it cannot exist. I am so happy to continue to see Black love thrive. It's power in it. It is important. And no matter what, anything, any meme, any social media page, any self-help book, or any of that tries to tell us, we need each other because there is power in our unity. Come together in a healthy, strong union that not only uplifts you and makes you a better person, but does that for the entire Black community. This week and this day and every single day, spread Black love, be Black love, continue to grow and rise in Black love. Yes! So, in honor of all of the beautiful Black love that has been going on, and regardless of anything else that's going on in the world, we are always going to advocate for spreading Black love and being in Black love and just rising and growing in Black love. So, in honor of Black Love Day, Galentine's and Valentine's Day, I wanted to read an excerpt this week for our Freedom section from Adam of Ife, Black Women in Praise of Black Men. And that's a dope book cover, right? I love it. So it's basically a collection of poems, but I wanted to read it just because I think we just need to hear more of that sometimes. With Black women, being at Galentine's Day this week made me realize that we have such a strong, powerful circle and tribe and network of beautiful Black women who are not only understanding of where we come from and what we're going through, and we have those points of things that we can relate on. We can have fun together. We can uplift each other. We can help each other grow, and it just really made me realize what do men have outside of the barbershop and playing basketball? Like, what do they have outside of that? What is their safe space? I can go around my sisters and completely bare my soul, and they're gonna see me broken and help rebuild me and restore me. Outside of their relationships, where do Black men go for that? So I just wanted to give a little love to the brothers this week and just show some love. So I'm going to be reading a few excerpts from this. Like I said, it's Adam of Ife, Black Women in Praise of Black Men. And it's really nice. They have some pictures in the book as well. Some very nice sketches. So the first one that I'll be reading, A Song of Praise for the Often Overlooked Men, for Neville and Carl. Don't know why they say, let me get myself together, hold on. Don't know why they don't see you, because you always been there, been around, doing the same thing for your woman, your children, your friends, the community. You, man. Ooh. Deep chocolate, you, man. Sandy brown, you, man. Yellow, you, man. Nutmeg, you always been here. I've seen you. Child raised on your shoulder. I've seen you. Apron round your waist, cooking up a storm. I've seen you. Bending in your garden, your hands yielding vegetables to nourish. I've seen you. Tickling your wife, laughing into her, eyes being faithful, working every day. Sometimes 2 jobs. Don't know why they say you don't exist, because I be seeing you all the time, all over the place, doing the same thing, being a real good man. And that poem is by Opal Palmer Adisa. All right, this next one is Just Love. Just love seeing my brothers run, jump, shoot, bounce, a performance at a neighborhood park. Tall, extra tall, lean, slick, and short evenly, put together bodies, hopping around in high top Adidas with man sweaty sweat socks, accentuating well-rounded calves, leading up to well-developed strong thighs and flat, or maybe not so flat stomachs, enhanced by hanging and hugging shorts and clinging t-shirts, redefining, tantalizing, run, jump, shoot, bounce, bounce, sweat pouring, in multitudes of transparent beads oozing down fine faces, legs traveling, liquefying at full speed, run, jump, shoot, bounce, bounce. Hey, little bit, orange brightness, what do? Love, just love. And that's from Karen Halliburton. And this last one is from one of my absolute favorites, the one and only Miss Nikki Giovanni. And it's titled, Beautiful Black Men, with compliments and apologies to all not mentioned by name. I want to say, just gotta say something about those beautiful, 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 out of sight black men with they afros walking down the street. It's the same old danger, but a brand new pleasure. Sitting on stoops in bars, going to offices, running numbers, watching for they whores. Preaching in churches, driving their hogs, walking their dogs, winking at me. In their fire red, lime green, burnt orange, royal blue, tight pants that hug what I like to hug. Jerry Butler, Wilson Pickett, The Impressions, Temptations, Mighty Mighty Sly. I don't have to do nothing but walk on stage, and I scream and stamp and shout. See new breed men and breed alls, dashiki suits with shirts that match, the lining that complements the ties, that smile at the sandals where dirty toes peek at me, and I scream and stamp and shout for more beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black men with out of sight afros. Thank y'all so much for tuning in this week. I think that the overall message that I want y'all to leave from this is just spread love, be love, love yourself, because that's the greatest form of black love. It starts with self-love. And then loving the beautiful men and women that are in your life. And don't let it just be because the calendar and society tells us to. Let's spread that love every single day. I'm very serious about that. Black love is definitely revolutionary. So as long as we continue to build and do that together, we will continue to rise. If you ever need me, I am here for you. Always and forever. Because I love you. I love you. I love us all. And not on some Floyd Mayweather and Steve Harvey respectability. I love you if you fit in this box, or if you do this, or if you... No. I love you. I love our people. I love our culture. And that's why no matter what, I'll always use my voice to speak on it and to try to do my part. Like Pac said, I'm not saying that I'm going to change the world or that I single-handedly can change any and everything. But as long as I keep talking about it, as long as y'all tune in on this every Friday and we keep talking about it, it's going to spark some change because people are going to get tired. Join me, y'all, as we come through the lock, like coming through, door blasting, like Pac said. Join me. But I love y'all as always. Thank you so much. This is a dream of mine, and you just taking the time to look at my face and hear this old voice is truly manifesting my dream. So I thank you and I bless you for that. Make sure you check us out next week. Every Friday we post a new episode, and it's always online, available on YouTube, on our Facebook page, as well as Apple Podcasts. Just search Conscious Kingdom. All of our episodes are right there. And as always, y'all, just stay conscious. Stay consciously aware of your thoughts, of what you're ingesting, what your diet is, not just food, but what you are constantly watching, what you're hearing, what you are then repeating to yourself in your own inner voice. Think about all of those things. Are you pleased with them? Are you happy? Are you consciously uplifting yourself and doing things to better yourself and to better your surroundings? And even if you aren't, you can. You have the power to be the best version of yourself whenever you get good damn and ready. And I'm just here to help you reach that point and encourage you on those days that you don't feel like it. There's power in who you are. And no matter what this world tries to tell you, everybody won't believe in you and everybody won't place their bet on you, but bet on yourself. That's the best ticket that you ever can do. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Freedom, the official Conscious Kingdom podcast. Make sure that you check us out online, shopconsciouskingdom.com, and I will see y'all next week.